Sigma, Marcy, Lena, I mean, outside of like Bat and maybe Quap and Undying, they're probably the strongest laners outside of that.
5 seconds remaining.
See what this last band's going to be here for Tempest in the second phase. Of course, they do have the pick coming out of it with the 15th, and often with the 15th, we see it's going to be that position 5. So for Cat, a Drow Ranger ban. Oh, what do you make of this then? Oh, this is a hero that we have not seen in quite some time.
I think they've been looking at a little bit at the old Dota 2 Pro tracker for Chrysalis, because it is something that he's been playing a fair amount in his pubs. And I mean, to be fair, they've got people that are able to frontline in front of him, right? A Nyx Assassin, a Primal Beast, super beefy heroes that create a lot of space for Drow to be able to put in the work. I feel like the silence is really important. I was about to say they haven't banned something like a Sniper, but I feel like Sniper's not necessarily that great, right? The Ember Spirit, the Weaver, they're just going to be able to get out of harm's way relatively easily. At least with the Drow, you have that silence to be able to potentially burst them down.
I think the nice thing with the Ogre getting picked up for Tempest at least is that it does give you, it's a steroid for your position 1 if the game goes later and later. That Bloodlust is going to be really nice to be able to help with your farming speed and pumping out the damage. And also your laning stage. You're incredibly strong laning support. It didn't get some changes as well in 7.32. We even saw, I think it was ESL Malaysia, that Secret, Puppy was just picking the Ogre a ridiculous amount. He felt like the changes were warranted for him to be picked a lot of the time.
He was picking a lot of the Witch Doctor as well in recent times, which I think it's still a really strong hero. Even the little things like the change to the Voodoo switcheroo. They do go ahead and pick up that Sniper. Okay, I understand the reasoning behind it, but I'm just a little bit worried about the lack of lockdown right now, unless the Nyx Assassin finds that initial catch.
Are we thinking this is a Chrysalis or Nisha Sniper?
Could be either.
Nisha does, yeah. I feel like the matchup mid doesn't sound too fun for the Ember.
Yeah, but it depends what they want to go with now. Like, can you go with a position 4 that wants to be able to rotate through and make the lane a little bit easier? Because Sniper, until you got that concussive grenade, you are still relatively squishy. No real escape mechanisms.
This is a incredible pick here for Tempest. The laning stage is very strong with an Ogre Blood Seeker. You've got the Fire Blast to be able to set up here for the Blood Right, but I think the more important thing is just the Rupture against the Sniper. Like, this is a hero who is incredibly position-based. You are that glass cannon, and if you get ruptured, you're unable to reposition with the concussive grenade, like you mentioned, or if you've got a Blink Dagger picked up, or like a Force Staff. So this is an incredible pick for Tempest, something that Kataru is very, very comfortable on as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can even just rupture the Primal Beast, right? And then suddenly he can't be initiating. He can't be brawling around in the middle of these team fights. And if Primal Beast isn't moving, you just ignore him completely. And then you look to go onto the backlines, which are a lot squishier. Chen, Sniper, Nyx Assassin, they are incredibly just food for the rest of this Tempest lineup if you just can remove the Primal Beast from the equation.
So we are looking towards Secret's 23rd pick. The moment Tempest are under the assumption that it is still going to be the Nisha hero with the puck band out. Do you feel like that's kind of the last flaw they need to cover for Secret, this Nisha hero?
They need something else. They need a little bit more control, right? So Puck is the perfect ban. I think Nisha is, in my opinion, the best Puck in the world. So I'm really keen to see, I'm happy to see Tempest have banned that one out. But they just need more control. Like, what are they feeling is going to be able to lock down this Ember Spirit? What's going to enable them to burst the Weaver? Because right now they just don't have anything.
Even Secret as well are not quite sure where the Weaver's going to be played. They're banning out offlaners, which Mars taking care of. Broodmother, I suppose, understandable considering they do have some issues dealing with some of the summons, but do you feel like maybe they're misreading how Tempest are trying to set up with the Weaver?
Not necessarily. I mean, the Weaver can be flexed into multiple positions. Not that you can really get too much done as a position 4 if you're rotating onto the Sniper. I think the minus armor component is going to be nice just to enable them to take Roshan, which is a nice little bonus. I'm just wondering for Secret's hero as well, like, could they go into a Pango or a Invoker potentially for this lane? I mean, Pango a little bit less likely because you're up against the Bloodseeker, but Invoker doesn't seem bad at all. Natural Orchid Builder, you're able to, again, use those heroes that want to be on the front lines in the Primal Beast and the Nyx Assassin to be able to create that initial burst, and then you can even just dispel the Flame Guard as well.
Yep. I I think even being able to kind of play with the sniper as the game goes on, and for Secret, they do have some issues, I think, with making plays early on. Your Nyx Assassin's a little bit reliant on level 6, and it depends on the Chen creeps that you're able to find to kind of take some objectives. So maybe if he does, more than likely it's going to be Coswex if you're up against the Ember. So Nisha can kind of be that playmaker early on.
Yeah, they do get rid of another one of those controls. I like it. I like the way that Tempest is drafting so far. They've realized what they need to get rid of, but that's the issue with Dota, right? When you're up against these other potential TI caliber teams, you can't ban everything against them. They end up going for the Monkey King instead. Okay, something a little bit unorthodox, but I mean, Nisha's Monkey King is very good. Crystallis's Monkey King is very good. So they still haven't revealed absolutely everything about how they're going to go about these lanes.
Yeah, I mean, the Monkey's going to have a pretty good matchup versus the Ember Spirit mid. Monkey Chen is a very, very strong lane as well, and you don't particularly care too much about the Rupture because you can just lay down the Wukongs. And I think a nice thing actually with this is that it protects the Sniper a lot as well. If Sniper gets ruptured, you just use like a defensive Wukongs, and it makes it very difficult for Tempest to enter the fight because both sides didn't really have a whole lot of team fight. It's a lot of skirmishing back and forth. Now the Wukongs kind of gives them a bit more of an advantage in the 5-on-5 here for Secret.
Does indeed. I'm going to predict the Wyvern here, just because it is, a little bit of a specialty hero of mine, but it's pretty solid, right? You're able to catch out a lot of these early BKB buyers. You're able to get some slows off. You're able to lock down and prevent a lot of this Chen army from coming through early. We'll see what avenue they look to go down with 10 seconds left for them to be able to make their last pick. And it's a Pango instead. Okay, just wanting a little bit more control, potentially wanting to delay the game a bit further just to go into it. And it is going to end up being that Ember Spirit being played in the POS 4 role.
All right, what an interesting draft we have to start ourselves here in the last chance qualifiers. Sebas, continuing with the flex all the way to the end, and we get the offlane Weaver as well. So this is a very South American kind of draft from Tempest, and for Secret, they've got a lot of comfort heroes as well. Crystallis on the Monkey King, Nisha playing the Sniper. How we feel about this game one, Denok? There's a lot on the line. Of course, two incredibly strong teams. They need to come out with a strong showing here. Who do we feel like maybe has a slight advantage in the draft?
I would say I really like this Nyx Assassin in this game. There's got so much unavoidable damage on Tempest that you're almost always going to be able to get off that great Spike Carapace to be able to set up for a lot of these ganks. And I mean, Team Secret's lineup, they don't need much to be able to execute that gank effectively. Primal Beast just zips on in. Chen army, super overwhelming. Monkey King, really strong, and it's Crystallis's best hero. Kind of like what I was saying with Tempest before, how they just first picked the Ember Spirit. They said, we gotta give one of our Ecuadorian boys one of their comforts. Same sort of thing with Secret. It's Crystallis's first potential TI. Just give him comfort. Let him ease his way into this competition.
I think for me, I do really like this last pick, Pango. It's going to give them an avenue to easily be able to get on top of the Sniper, which they've already had a couple, but now it's also gives you some team fight, because we were just previously mentioning that maybe Secret had a slight advantage thanks to the Wukongs with how it was able to address the Rupture in the mid-game fight. So I do like the Pango getting picked up. I'm a bit concerned about how the lane is going to shape up here for Sebas and the Pango up against Nisha's Sniper. I think as the game goes on, it's a good matchup, but the lane, he might not get as much out of it as what they need here on the Pango.
And the thing is as well, like, you look at what they've got to be able to make rotations through. Like, what is an Ember Spirit realistically going to do when he looks to move towards the mid lane? The amount of lockdown isn't that great. And until you're level 6 on the Pangolier, there's just not that kill potential there. So yeah, I'm in complete agreement. I think Nisha is going to have a fantastic time in this mid lane. You can already see with his quick buy, he's going for that lane dominating style. A couple of Wraith bands straight into the Morbid Mask, because he knows that this Tempest lineup wants to run at him as soon as it's possible.
Here we go. Game 1 underway here for the last chance qualifiers. Tempest against Secret. And we get to even see some of the new sets, Denok. Primal Beast played by Resolution. What are your thoughts on the new Immortal? Do you like it?
I mean, he looks kind of like Nyx Assassin with that horn, doesn't he? A little bit of the glance value.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess the set looks pretty similar, but then you take a look at kind of the hero size, and one is just a bigger version of the other.
And then you look at this Nyx assassin, and he looks like bloody Cthulhu with all of his little tentacles hanging out of his mouth.
We've got a couple bugs this game. You got the Weaver as well, getting played up top, and we already see Draken looking for a gauntlet challenge up against Chrysalis.
Just slaps him in the face with a glove.
Hate to see it. It's always a tough way to go out. That's a pretty cool set from Nisha as well. Man, Sniper's got some cool sets. I like this one a lot.
All right, I want an early prediction from you. What voice line will we hear the most during this TI? I think it's that one.
I don't know. That one? I've got to go back and look at the voice lines to make a call. There's too many of them to remember off the top of the head. Man, I think Tempest are a team that absolutely spam the hell of it. I mean, we're hearing it through the drafting phase. They always love giving out the voice lines.
And I gave you the perfect opportunity to plug your own voice line. You didn't take it.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It'll come. The time will come. Take a look at how the bottom lane is shaping up here. So we got some shenanigans going on. Zayat's dragging the creep wave all the way around. Katyu trying to catch up in the river as well. Unfortunately, he's not going to be speedy enough to be able to stop the pull from Zayat. So very nicely done. And this is the important thing right now for Secret. The offlane, you always want to be playing with the creep wave just in front of your tower.
And I think this is really important. Secret aren't going to prioritize any super early kills. Like maybe once they're level 2, they can look to go for it. Because again, there is a lot of that unavoidable damage that's going to be coming through. When Zayat hits level 2, he'll just look to walk inside that Blood Right, pop the Spike Carapace. But they know that early on, all they need to do is just get out of the laning stage with their farm. Because you know that the sniper's going to do it. You know that Rezu's going to be able to pick it up. And Bloodseeker, we've seen time and time again, all he needs is 2 items to be able to go in. You need the Maelstrom and you need the BKB. But it takes a little bit of time to get there, and you're going up against a Chen draft and a great Nyx Assassin game with 2 other potentially 1 lanes. So I think that's going to be a little bit of an issue for Tempest.
Yeah, how do you feel with this lane in particular for Secret up top? Because at the moment, Tempest have done a really good job to try to slow down Puppy's game with blocking up multiple camps. Do you feel like Puppy will still have a lot of impact to enable Chrysalis in this lane, or is he going to struggle?
I think he's still going to do fine enough. He's just going to cop a lot of harass, right? That's the thing with this Ember Spirit. You're able to do it from relative safety, even as a position 4. And then once the game starts to break down a little bit, I think we're just going to see Tempest try and outgreed Secret as much as possible. Try and find the avenues to keep lanes pushed out with these heroes that are relatively capable of doing so, right? All of the heroes can, except for, let's say, the Ogre Magi. You know, you get the Maelstrom onto someone like even the Pangolier, feels really strong. You get the Maelstrom or a Gleipnir on Draken, really strong. You get a Maelstrom onto Slatted, feels really strong. So I think they're just going to try and stall as much as they can, and then look to use essentially a 4-core lineup to try and beat out Secret.
I guess one issue I do see with Tempest lineup is the tower taking potential is a little bit limited. They can take Roshan, I think, with ease, with the lucky shot and the minus armor coming through from the bugs, but just their potential to take objectives isn't as strong as what the Secret have in their lineup.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, this is Secret we're talking about. They top
lane, Chrysalis. Under some trouble at the moment. Draken's got another round of the security to catch up. Chrysalis going to try and play around with the mischief. That's enough to get him back to the safety of the tower. So the Monkey King will be okay, but the lane is not in a good position for him to continue last hitting.
No, it is not. And what I was just saying before is that with the lane not being in a good position, Puppy is a greedy pos 5. He has been for quite some time. And I feel like you have to be on a hero like the Chen or an Io, where
bottom lane, Katyu. Resolution trying to get aggressive here on the Ogre. Beautifully done with the body blocks coming out, but Katyu just slips on pass and he'll cut his way through the tree line. So we see the damage that the Nyx and the Primal Beast can chuck out early on. They might look to go back in for the Blood Right, not having enough mana for the moment from Katara.
Want to see them wait until level 3 if possible. They might actually be looking to try and go in onto Rezo, but you got to make sure that you disrupt this pull if possible. Doesn't seem like they need to, though. But yeah, you get a big power spike as soon as you hit level 3 on this Ogre Magi. Just that extra burn damage, that extra second on the duration. They're going to start harassing out Zayats here, but I'm not sure how well that's going to go for him.
Katyu is in trouble. Look at the damage coming through from Rezo. 2 points in the trample, and we've got our first blood. It's going to be Secret that find it here in game 1.
Really, really good start to their game so far. What I was saying before, up on the top side with Puppy playing his Chen, you just want to rush this mechanism as quickly as possible, because think about it, right? If everyone's got 1,000 HP and you're healing them for around 300 or so, it feels so much more effective if you can get it at that super early timing than if it's 5 minutes later and people have 1,500 HP. Suddenly, instead of like 30% of their HP, it's only, 20 or so. Especially against a Bloodseeker, right? Got to make sure that people are as topped off as possible. So even something like the Monkey King is going to be a pretty solid answer to that, provided that he's able to get those Jingu Mastery and the hits in.
Really nicely done from Resolution. Just kind of playing in the tree line. Nothing too crazy, but almost acting as a deterrent for Cat-U to stop the pull. So this going to be able to reset the equilibrium here for Secret down bottom. Again, putting them in a position where they can look to get aggressive. Maybe they'll wait for the phase boot to be picked up. Will be a couple more waves here for the Primal Beast. In more top lane, Puppey almost going down as well, but he'll be okay under the tower. I do want to kind of pay some attention to mid lane as well. With all the action we've seen in the side lane, we haven't had too much time to focus on Nisha. Hold that thought though. Yeah, Bloodseeker's in a little bit of trouble. Rezo not able to get that last ticket damage. Although Zayats will land the Impale. Kotaro gets some distance, but the onslaught instantly stops him from retreating. But with Cat-U nearby, but the Bloodseeker's going to be okay. Resolution, he can step out of the Blood Riot. The damage is still starting to stack up though. 2 points in the Ignite is something they need to respect on Secret.
Oh, I like this timing from Nisha as well in the mid lane, making sure to use that take aim as soon as the spells are spammed out. Luckily enough, though, Sabas was positioning himself on the correct side. Nice deny, though, from Nisha. That was what I was looking at. Can you look to make
bottom
a
lane
rotation?
under the tower. Kotaro goes down. So Zayats and Resolution instantly, once Cat-U leaves the lane, they sense an opportunity to be able to dive the Bloodseeker, and they get a big kill.
Yeah, and he made that rotation just a little bit too late as well. This is what I was talking about. At 6-minute rune for a Pango with a bottle, he had to walk all the way back to base just to get a refill because of how well the lane was going for Nisha. But if you don't make that rotation with the support because the lane's in a bad spot, or because the sniper is harassing the Pango, then it just works out so much better for the dire side. So Nisha, good recognition of what was important at that stage, gets rid of the bottle refill, and it just allows him to continue dominating this lane.
It really feels like for Sabas, I think his angle into the early game is going to be off the back of his first rotation with Rolling Thunder. We do see a lot of Pangoliers, they don't mind even like not rotating and trying to find a pretty early Diffuser Blade timing, but I think he's had such a rough start in the lane that he needs to look to get active early, and I think top lane is the perfect place because you have the ward behind the tower. If you get the kill into Chrysalis, this can really open up Draken's game.
Yeah, they would have seen Puppey rotating back and, Chen in the jungle. It's not game-breaking or anything like
Chrysalis
that.
might be in trouble top. Wukong's already being leveled up here from Chrysalis, and that's going to be enough to push away Tempest, so use defensively, but the Monkey King will keep his life.
I wonder if they're just going to have a look at his inventory and say, hey, this guy doesn't have any regen. They see him walking back with the Observer Ward there, so they'll know that they don't really have any kill potential, but it's just so important for him to get back and get some of those tangos off the courier. Finally picks up the power treads as well. Gonna go all the way back to the fountain. But again, mid lane, you've been completely pushed out here by Sabas, by Nisha on Sabas, and he's just gonna continue trying to push this in. Everyone's rallying around this point right now.
The power runes is going to be so important here for Tempest. They need to find them on the Pangolier. No, you see Secret's positioning, looking to protect it. Into the river we go. Sabas with the first Rolling Thunder can bounce back once onto Nisha. And look at the rotations coming out from Tempest as well. They're even going to bring Draken to try and shut down the sniper. And they'll do just that. And now they can look to turn over to Zayats as well as Tempest. That is what they needed. 2 quick kills for them in the river.
Yeah, for sure. And even just Kotaro, it means that he's going to be given a little bit more time to just farm safely underneath the spotted tower. Rezo's got 4 points in the trample. Has to be a little bit careful, but maybe now that the rupture is available, he feels a little bit more conscious of the fact that, look, I just need to play conservatively under my tower. Nearly got into that Maelstrom, though.
It's going to be a pretty good timing here for the Bloodseeker. We see how much farm he's been able to get at the moment. If he can stay down bottom for as long as possible just to slow down the siege. When do we feel like Secret are actually even going to think about bringing Puppey down? Is it once he gets his mechanism and then they'll maybe start to put some pressure on the tower?
Oh, for sure. You need the mech to be able to make anything happen around that. And it kind of feels like he's been caught in two worlds. You know, he's been walking around placing some observer wards, but not really helping out Crystallis's lane all that much. Obviously, he was able to survive previously because of that good skill up of the Wukongs and realizing that, you know, they don't have a ton of magic damage, at least without the Pangolier being up there on the top side. But yeah, it's all about Puppey, just making sure he gets that mech. If they could get it in time for the siege creep, then that's really the big thing that Secret are going to be looking for, but I'm not so sure if they're going to be able to.
Doesn't look like they're going to be able to hit that timing for Puppey. It would be ideal for them, but I guess across the map, maybe they're content with all the farm they're getting as well, though. Again, we do have the power runes soon to spawn, so instantly both sides putting the importance on trying to shut this away, and the Puppey does a very good job to be able to deny the double damage rune. So again, Sabas is not going to be playing with an active rune.
Really does feel like Secret are looking to try and up the tempo as much as possible, though, right? Like, you see Nisha, he hasn't gone into any super farm-intensive items. He's going the Dragonlance. He's going the Mask of Madness, just because he wants to sit there and right-click around the rest of his heroes that are making space with him. He's not going for a Maelstrom route. He's not looking to try and push out multiple lanes and play around. For example, if they take the bottom tower, what can that mean in terms of an additional couple of camps?
Top lane. Chrysalis is in trouble. Sabas gets a swashbuckle. Can they get an extra little bit of damage to stop him in the tree line? And Chrysalis, I mean, that is huge for them. Chrysalis keeps his life. It would have been a big kill for them to be able to find to continue to take this tier 1 tower, but it doesn't look like Secret are actually going to rotate to defend it, so this tower will be given up.
Puppey does have his mech, though, so it's not all doom and gloom. They haven't lost a huge amount on the map, even, of course, it's not ideal to be able to give up that tier 1. They will use Crystallis on the Monkey King just to scout out that there's no one looking to defend on this bottom side, and they were still able to manage the equilibrium so that the siege creep is still alive 11.5 minutes into the game. Constantly jumping into the trees to scout out any of this early movement. Might not be the most efficient way to do things, but you do need to open up the map a little bit.
Mid lane, they're collapsing onto Nisha. It chains into the Rolling Thunder from afar. The TPs are starting to come through, but they might be a little bit too late.
There's the mech.
With all the stats that Nisha has, the mechanism comes out for the bonus help, and Nisha's still in trouble. As Tempest surround him under the tier 1 tower, they bring him down for a second time this game, but it looks like Secret will get some revenge. So they're able to turn it back around onto Slardin, and they've got the Pulverize as well to stop Katyu from TPing out. So Secret, they lose the position too, but they will get both supports on Tempest.
Rezo is just having an absolute godly time farming here, though. He is well at the top of the leaderboards right now, and it's very important that he gets into that BKB so that he doesn't care at all about any hero other than the Bloodseeker, essentially. He is just way too farmed right now, and well, they're going to need it. They're going to need to try and rally around that timing that I was mentioning. Mask of Madness, BKB, and then look to move on forward. Puppey still needs his level 6, though. He's looking to try and emphasize his farm a little bit now. He's got the mech rushed. He's got his level 6. He just needs some mana to be able to consistently cast these spells in these teamfights.
Dude, what a way to be able to start off the last chance qualifiers for Rezo. This guy's having an absolute blast. Like you said, top of the net worth by a long shot. He's got 4 kills, and he's playing a hero that's incredibly strong at the moment. Rezo's going to be having such a good time.
I have seen a little bit, now that they've taken that bottom tower and they're able to farm a little bit more easily on Chrysalis, you're seeing Zayats play a lot more around Nisha. You know, they've opened up the map that little bit that they need to try and extend this net worth lead that they've developed so far. Even with Nisha dying a couple of times, it's okay, because you're going to get farm on the Monkey King, and it's still a really good Monkey King game.
Very nicely done from Zayats. Pops the smoke and gets out under the cover on the Vendetta, so that was able to scout out Sabas's rotation bottom. Tempest were trying to set up to slow down the game of Crystallis, but not going to be the case thanks to Zayats.
Man, am I seeing things? I know he's bloodlusted, but only for a couple of seconds.
I'll find him now. I mean, easily Nick's assassin, but he's doing his job though. Like, this is the important thing. You see how Zayats is positioning kind of the left side of where the Monkey King's farming at the moment. He's in a position where he can act as like this blockade just to be the first person on the line, so Crystallis will have enough time to get out.
And I think if you're going up against...
Oh, they got Nisha. Hang on, this is another big kill if they're able to find it. Sabas has got the Rolling Thunder back up, and Nisha going down for the third time this game. He had such an incredible start to the laning stage, but again, we see Tempest. They have the capability to close the distance with ease. They're going to be cautious though, because they're going further into Secret's domain. Resolution is not an easy person to bring down, but he doesn't have the BKB yet completed. Chrysalis is going to fly on over with the Wukong command. They've got firm control of the area now, but Tempest are able to reset. Out to the left side, Sabas is okay. He can jump down to the low ground, but Secret, they're starting to lose their members. It's just Chrysalis as a sole survivor. He'll leap through the trees, but Tempest early on doing incredible job to bring in the numbers to take these early game fights.
I was talking about early, Secret, particularly Puppy, plays quite greedy, and that fight, just because of how aggressively he's been farming with the Holy Persuasion, constantly using the Penitence on cooldown, yeah, he's got the Ring of Basilius, but it means that you're not quite as capable of assisting in a lot of these fights. He didn't TP to help Nisha, he had popped the Hand of God, but didn't have enough mana for the mechanism. It just means that if you're going to look to farm in this way, you're going to need to sacrifice something, and, well, that time around it was 4 heroes because of how Tempest are looking to play so aggressively.
I like what they're doing as well from Tempest. They have a very, very strong, aggressive observer ward, but as soon as you leave this area, Secret are just going to instantly D-ward. So they're looking to see if Secret make the mistake of just bringing one person over to D-ward, but that's not the case. Rezo being nearby to protect Puppy, so they won't be able to get a kill. They'll look to back out. I think we do see some of the issues for Secret where if they don't use the Wukongs to kind of answer the Rupture, then Tempest can instantly reset, and they did a perfect job in their communication in that fight, whereas as soon as the Wukongs is used, they're just looking to get out and reset the fight and see if they can go back in on their terms.
Yeah, I thought initially they were looking to say, okay, well, they used the Rolling Thunder to be able to get the kill on Tanisha, let's just look to try and reset, and then take the fight to them. Puppy, you can't be dying like this. You are a big part of what enables them.
They're trying to bait. Oh, he jumped straight in. Sabas, zero cares in the world. His Resolution was waiting in the tree line. A beautiful bait out from Puppy. They don't even get the Chen kill. Now, Secret, they might look to put some pressure onto the T1 tower mid.
Oh yeah, for sure. So much of their team fight relies on that Rolling Thunder. They've even got the Flag Bearer creep there. It's not going to last too much longer, but...
Look at the wraparound. Zayats all the way to the backside. They've got the Onslaught as well onto the secondary support. A Secret. They'll bring down Cat-Yu, and they can also close the... Oh, they will not bring down Cat-Yu. So the Ogre survives, but the Ember Spirit does not.
Question is, do they look to defend this mid tower? Doesn't seem like it. They didn't need to use all that much. They still had the Hand of God available. Mech was up in another 5 seconds. They're just looking to try and get to that next timing. I mentioned it before, Kotaro, he's level 12. He's got his Maelstrom, and he's only 500 or so gold away from that BKB. So that's going to be really key for them to be able to make this next big play.
He's having no contention across the map here for the Bloodseeker. And it's going to be difficult for them to be able to deal with him once he's able to find this item. Probably the biggest timing that we're going to see come out for quite some time for Tempest. So what are we imagining they're going to look to do with this BKB? Is it like a smoke around the T1 tower, try and get a kill into the objective? Or is there something else they're going to be eyeing the map? Bottom lane? Draken? No. Sukuchi out, he's okay.
Well, you're up against a Chen, right? So I've said a few times now, Puppy's greedy, but it's the truth. You need to try and take away the dire jungle, and then based off of that, look to get a pick off, take that mid tier 1 tower, opens up Roshan for you to be able to claim.
Again, Zayats, look at the positioning. Play in front of the sniper. Smoke's gonna pop. They've got the ward on the high ground against Sabas. He's gonna blindly jump into the middle, not respecting Secret in the formation they've been able to set up, and Resolution comes from the river as well. Tempest, they started incredibly strong in the early game, but we see the respect is starting to tail off. They're just mindlessly diving Secret.
They're not respecting Zayats in particular, right? He has already stopped 2 huge ganks that would have taken out a core, so it's really good positioning coming through from him, making that rotation up top. They realize that it's important to try and slow down Kotaro as much as possible because it's still a fantastic Bloodseeker game. But, well, he's gotten his farm. Resolution, he was on top for quite some time, but Kotaro, he's overtaken him since then.
And Sabas, second death in a row now for him. He was at one stage only 400 net worth behind the sniper, and we see how far that Nisha has been able to move away from his counterpart position too. I mean, once he gets his own BKB, then the sniper's going to be a little bit more protected in the fight for him to be able to stand his ground. So off the rough laning stage that Pango had, he was getting closer and closer from being able to compete against a sniper, but a couple of mistakes is really going to cost him here in the mid game.
Yeah, with all these timings that they were able to hit on Tempest, I'm a little surprised that they still haven't taken that mid tier 1 tower. It's been so low for so long, but they're doing a pretty good job of just putting their tankiest heroes on the front lines and looking to brush it out. Zayats again, that positioning.
He's doing so much work for Secret at the moment. Puppy's nearby to be able to provide the mech and the hand of God as well. So a lot invested to try and keep the Nyx Assassin alive, but it will give time now for Secret to bring the forces over to try and contest this. But a good observer ward. A lot of vision for Tempest to take the fight. Puppy's going to push on forward. Crystallis nearby as well. They'll get the first stun in the chain control. Is it going to be enough? It is. They'll be able to kill off Drak, but now Katara is going to enter the fight. He's got the BKB if required. They're going to try and deal with Crystallis, but they knock him down to the low ground, but it will not matter as Katara charges on forward, killing off the Primal Beast and finishing Crystallis as well. A big fight for Tempest, but can they get out with all their remaining numbers? As the assassinate from downtown means that Nisha can put an end to Sabas along with Cat Yu.
That's the fight that Nisha was looking for. Just enabling him to sit on the back lines, let these other beefy boys do the work. Yeah, it sucks to lose 2 of your cores, but if it means that you're able to get a little bit more farm on that sniper when they don't really have any instant ways to get in reliably on top of him outside of the Pangolier, who, you know, you're up against multiple heroes that are able to just right-click into you. Again, just Zayats, solid positioning, being able to break that smoke, find the decent enough start to the team fight. Committed quite heavily to try and keep him alive, but still, you see the power of Rezo, right? That time around, they were able to get the Rupture in onto the Primal Beast, though, right? And you saw what difference it made. He made the smallest TP I've ever seen from the top of this hill here, next to the tier 2 tower top. But, I mean, it just takes away a big part of that teamfight presence if you're able to take out that Primal Beast.
Still for Tempest, their eyes are going to be on trying to find this tier 1 tower and maybe even some kills as well. Resolution. BKB's on cooldown for another 5 seconds. Tempest, they're not aware of this. Can they keep him alive long enough before the BKB? It's not going to happen. As Puppy doesn't have the sustain to keep the Primal Beast alive, and now Kataro is trying to get onto the champ, but they'll turn to Nisha instead. He's got the BKB if required. He'll finally pop this to try and get back to the safety of the high ground, but Draken is chilling. Time lapse still available for the Weaver. He's able to reset.
Still though, BKB's being popped are pretty huge for Tempest. I mean, they use the Rupture for sure, and with the Primal Beast coming up in the next 15 or so seconds, they're going to be like, you know what? We've still got Rolling Thunder. We've still got a lot of this right-click damage. Let's go and take one of these big objectives that we needed to play around, being on the Radiant side. And Roshan is going to be the one. Lucky shot. Some minus armor as well, coming through from the Weaver. And even just the Bloodlust there to assist with all of that. But yeah, Puppy, his movement, not going to be enough. You might lose Katyu, but you got a much bigger prize.
You did indeed. Secret, though, still looking to move towards Tempest's territory. Resolution is stalking Sabas, but they will not see the Pangolier under the cover of the invis. So Secret a little bit too late. They do see Kataro top.
Yeah.
Hang on, BKB's on cooldown. He will not be able to BKB TP out. Is Zayat's going to be able to find him in the tree line? He does. They should be able to bring him down the first time, but can they kill him a second time, though, as Tempest? They'll be able to bring their force to try and protect him on the respawn, but already Crystallis is laying down the Wukong command, but where's the control to keep him inside as Kataro steps out. Sabas is in with the Rolling Thunder. They've done an incredible job to get the Bloodseeker out, and now Tempest, they can consider about going back in if they want to, as Kataro is in with the BKB, but the damage is not ramping up. They haven't brought Secret down low, so the thirst is not there. As Secret standing their ground, Crystallis with the double boundless strike. He needs a way to lock them into place. But Tempest, they can reposition to the T2 tower, but they haven't got it on top of Nisha. As the sniper's damage starting to rack up, but they've got to be cautious, so you need to respect Tempest and the long drawn-out fights, as they're going to go back in. Nisha's in trouble towards the Secret shot, but it's only Zayats nearby to buy him some time, and Nisha, he'll look to turn it around. Gets the kill onto Drak, and he's still got the BKB to work with. Nisha pummeling into them. He'll get the finishing blow when Nisha doesn't even die. Hold on that thought though, Sabas jumping
no,
over the
lucky
tree
shot.
line. What's going on? Nisha, can he stand his ground? The Mano against the Bloodseeker. He's pushing Kataru back. One more right click, but he doesn't have the damage as the Bloodseeker will win the duel and come out on top.
Oh, you could tell like, he really wanted to hit that Bloodseeker, but he just couldn't. He was so low that the Mjolnir would have taken him down, so looked to prioritize the Ogre just for anyone that would have given him that little bit of extra lifesteal and not kill him with his own right clicks, but it really is neck and neck so far. Nisha, Kataru, they're really pulling the big punches for their team, and it was a little bit of an awkward fight for Team Secret. They well overstayed their welcome. After that Wukong's wore off, I thought they would have disengaged entirely, but just sticking around for a couple of support kills, not really worth it in the end.
We see how even this ball game is at the moment. 25 minutes in, 16 to 18 kills, only hit 2,000 net worth lead here for Secret. We're starting to get to the stage where with how even this game is, we need to be considering about who has the stronger late game.
I would say Tempest does. I mean, they haven't been super greedy with this Ember Spirit, to be fair, but they are about to hit a couple of big timings with the... they're smoking a little bit early, though. Not quite getting into the 4-stuff just yet on the Ogre Magi. It's a big item, though, right? Being able to get away from the Primal Beast. Oh, Rezo.
Rezo? What on a high gun? That he is.
You just see, after the SNY, Kaya and Sanj, he's going straight into that Lincoln Sphere. He's tired of getting taken out of these team fights entirely just by that Rupture. I really want to see them playing around 4-staffs on the Tempest side. They've caught a position 4, and they'll take it for now. It's free. They didn't use a smoke for that purpose, but it does reveal that all of Secret are playing around this mid lane, so maybe they just might try and stay in the jungle on Tempest. Keep that high ground advantage away, but they haven't set up their vision just yet, so Secret, they've got to feel safe to walk on forward. Yeah.
Yeah, really good read.
That was just E-warded though, so it's a bit of vision just given away for free.
It means that there's not a lot of information for Tempest to be playing with across the map. They've got a more defensive ward up top by the Secret shot, but that's really all they can utilize so far. And this game is going to come down to vision. It's going to come down to, can you catch Nisha off guard before he pops the BKB to be able to blow him up? Because this sniper is starting to rack up the damage. Crystal is completed. And we saw what can happen last time if the sniper is not addressed in the team fight.
Yeah, he's just trying to be as slippery as possible, right? He's got the Shadow Blade completed if he wants to. But might be looking to save up for the lane.
Slide on again. Gonna be caught out. Chrysalis to start with the Boundless Strike, and then Resolution can easily follow up with the Pulverize. And this will be the first Tier 2 tower of the game getting claimed as well. No glyph available here for Tempest, so that's going to be able to open up the outpost. But Radiant, they're trying to come down to defend it. Zabas, a great start onto Chrysalis, but he's got the BKB into the Wukong's command. Tempest, they need to reset out of the position, but look at the damage coming through. Nisha on the high ground, pummeling into Kataru, but a 4-staff back to the safety of the Tier 3 towers as Assassinate. Not enough damage, 40 health as the Bloodseeker gets out. But Secret, they take the Tier 2 tower, and they might consider outpoking the high ground.
Yeah, potentially. You got the Siege Creep there. You've got a Chen with his Hand of God. The thing is, a lot of the time you want these beefy boys standing on the front lines, and without the Wukongs, without the BKB on both Rezo and Chrysalis, I just don't think you can do it. Sniper, one of the better heroes at being able to defend that high ground, even Bloodseeker.
Now with lead starting to balloon up a little bit here for Secret with the past couple of events that we've had across the map. They can now get the outposts, fall back. They've got their entire jungle to be able to farm as well, and a little bit of Tempest's jungle as well. So this lead is going to continue to grow.
It's for sure. I mean, I really think this just goes back to Tempest just not being quite patient enough. They were literally 20 gold away from being able to pick up a couple of 4-staffs that would have meant that they can more confidently make that aggressive move when they went for that previous smoke at around the 26 or so minute mark. They've got it now on the Ogre Magi at least, and Ember Spirit, he's still a little bit away from being able to pick his own up, but once those BKBs are low on the Primal Beast, if you 4-staff him, it breaks the Pulverize. So you really force him to commit the BKB and the ultimate together, and you might be able to kite around with your heroes that are pretty capable of doing so. You know, Ogre, stay on the back lines. Ember Spirit, very mobile. Pango, very mobile. Weaver, very mobile. So right now, the game plan for Tempest is just wait out these BKBs if you can.
And I think I really like what Poppy's doing as well with the creeps that he's controlling at the moment. He's got the Ogre, Frost Mage, and we've mentioned about the minus armor coming through from the Swarm along with the Lucky Shot, but he's also holding one of the small creeps, I think Kobold Foreman, which gives you bonus movement speed, which is going to be very beneficial for the sniper.
Let's just call him the Cup guy.
The Cup guy, okay. It's the Cup guy. 12% movement speed buff is yeah. I mean, Sniper, again, is a position, a hero that really relies on positioning as we're seeing at the moment, Secret. And they know how strong they are, looking to really get inside Tempest's territory.
Yeah, I mean, Secret completely own the right side of the map right now. There's nothing that Tempest can do about it. They've got all of the vision, they've got the outposts, they've got the tier 2 tower, so Tempest, they've known that Secret have been here for quite some time because of that top tower being pushed in consistently, but realistically, what can they do about it until they hit their next big timing?
Maybe... I mean, the play for Tempest is you have this opportunity with Rolling Thunder Blink and the Bloodseeker just complete a Blink as well. You have to instantly get on top of the Sniper because Nisha doesn't at the moment have the Hurricane Pike or the Concussive Grenade, so you will be able to stay on top of the Sniper to try and bring him down, but again, it seems like the team fights just look a little bit easier for Secret to execute at the moment.
It all depends on Zayats still, for me. Like, if he's in the right position to be able to scout out a smoke gank, to be able to find that initial pick-off, even just the value of information of this is where the Weaver is, or this is where the Pango is. You know that you can reliably take the fight on the Sniper because you're not going to be worried about just getting chains done.
And we've seen what Zayats has been able to do for a good chunk of this game. Like, his positioning has been incredibly on point with being able to scout out a lot of Tempest's rotations, and see Secret, they're going to be the ones once again looking to make the plays. The smoke inside their own jungle. They've got the lanes in a pretty good position to make a play.
Yeah, Sabas, he's died a few times with going forward, so he's a little bit scared to keep that top lane pushed out, but it is technically the right play.
Oh, nice jump away with the Remnant. They're still going to be able to get on top of the Ogre though. So Cat, you will go down, but this gives enough time for Tempest to be able to get at least the heroes out of down bottom, and also Sabas is shoving in another wave top.
Yeah, it's important for him to do this because the big thing to play around is Roshan. They were really hoping to find a core there.
The rest is Secret coming over to the triangle. They're onto Nisha. Kataru, no hesitation with the Bashes coming out as well for the Hand of God. It's not enough to keep Nisha alive as they bring down the Sniper. But what more can they get on Tempest though? A Secret. They're looking to get out with the remaining survivors, but the Remnant into the river will hold the Nyx Assassin into place. But Resolution, they're hunting to the north. They go, trying to close the distance onto the Bloodseeker, but Kataru, he'll blink away to safety. And Secret in the end, they lose Poppy as well. So a 2 for 1. Chrysalis is still stalking Draken. They even see Sabas as well nearby. Let's see if they're going to pounce on the opportunity. In they go with the first Sun, and the second comes out from Zayat. And now they've cut down the numbers on Tempest, but still seems like Radiant are in fighting shape as Kataru is considering about jumping back in, but they cannot fight into the Wukong's command. Tempest, they have to kite the ring, and they're going to do just that. Waiting for it to expire is Chrysalis. He's got the BKB, but he will not be able to TP out, so he just needs the man fight, and they go inside the Wukongs. You can't fight the monkey once he has firm control of the area, as Chrysalis slams down the Boundless Strike, getting rid of Katyu as well. Beautifully done from Secret. Even though they lost Nisha at the start, it did not matter.
Give the man his comfort, and this is what'll happen. And they had complete vision of that fight as well. Wards on the high ground on both the Dire and Radiant sides means that Secret could just take the fight exactly as they wanted to. Great stun coming through there from Chrysalis, brings him up to level 20, and Roshan is theirs for the taking. Such a big turning point for Secret.
This is... Oh, I don't know if I want to say like a game-winning Roche, but having a second life on Nisha and now giving him the Aghanim Shard more than likely means that it's good luck killing him twice. Alright, Chrysalis is going to get the Aghanim Shard, in fact, so we do have the Aegis, though, picked up for the Sniper.
So now they actually have, like, 3 ways to be able to super reliably get in onto those backlines and burst down these mobile, slippery heroes, I like to call them. You know, the Weaver, the Pango.
Zayats with the Nyx Assassin, man. What can this man not do? Oh my lord, Zayat!
If it's a good Nyx game, it's a good Nyx game. And that is all tier 2's gone now with Nisha pushing in this top lane at the exact same time. He has the freedom to be able to do this because he's got that Aegis available. But yeah, like I was saying before, they've got a third hero now that can super reliably go in with the Aghanim Shard on the Monkey King. Means that he instantly connects to the tip of his, what would you call that? The bar, I guess?
Staff? Yeah.
I was about to call it a rod, but...
A rod? Dude, look how fast these objectives are falling.
Yeah, they got the Deso on them, okay.
And Zayat is in. It it's a lot of damage.
Radiant's top barracks has
They don't have a tier 2 down. They might go for Megas. There's nothing stopping them.
They don't have Glyph. Like, this is one of the changes that we haven't seen super reliably, and yet Kataro's out of the base. Draken's trying to at least get a tier 2 tower in exchange, but, well, that's Sladin's dieback being expended.
They know where Kataro is. They saw him under the observer ward.
Gotta get back, my man.
Oh, they're going to see him again? Zayat?
He's gonna force a BKB out of him.
Yeah, that's a big one. And they also purge off the double damage rune as well. That's BKB, no DD, and Megacreeps. Oh, no, in secret, they're not going to look to leave the base as resolution onto the Weaver. Sabas! A huge Rolling Thunder to give the opportunity for Draken to get the time lapse out. That's Crystallis down, but can they deal with the sniper, however? He's got the Aegis, he's got the BKB still to work with. I don't know if they're going to be able to get on top of him to kill him. You see the respect that Tempest are giving up at resolution. Just charges into the middle, not caring about anything on Tempest. That gives him the vital space for Nisha to retreat.
And that Lincoln's purchase coming in dividends. He blocked the Rupture coming through there, so he's able to go in without a care in the world. He's even got the AC now as well, so super tanky against a lot of this right-click damage coming out here. It really feels like Tempest just got a little bit overwhelmed and started to panic when this secret lineup truly came online. It's the power of TI, the mental.
Definitely. I mean, everyone says there's no other tournament like it. And the stakes have just risen to such a level where, like you said, the mental to be able to combat this, and some of the other teams that have all of the experience that can play under composure. But we'll see. Did Tempest at least have a lineup to be able to defend against Megas, let alone potentially have an avenue back in? Dota Plus says no.
Yeah, so
0%.
All right,
so.
Copium, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I mean, they've hit everything that they want, and they've still got a minute and a half left on the Aegis. So, yeah, I feel like Secret, they're just waiting for their cooldown. Sniper's got his in about 10 seconds, so just wait for this next creep wave. Of course, it's Megas, so the lanes are always going to be pushing in. Look at how juicy this bottom lane is. Double siege creep wave. Sabas doing his best to try and stop it, but they're just going to go now. They're going to rally behind this mid wave if possible. Go for a smoke. Yeah, why not? Go for the surprise factor.
Or go for the kill into Draken.
Yep.
Look at the easy chain control for them. The Rolling Thunder was even used from Sabas, but he didn't see an angle to be able to counter-initiate a secret. They instantly looked to back up once they got the kill into the Weaver, and that gives them a big opportunity now to look to end the game.
They're not scared of anything anymore. Like, no Rolling Thunder, no Weaver, or at the very least a Weaver that has to expend the buyback. Still got Aegis for a minute. Just let Nisha do the dirty work.
Gonna be the full wraparound here from Tempest. And you're still playing into the Aegis though, so you gotta wait 40 seconds, but I don't know if you're gonna have enough time. Tier 4s are going down.
They're going to look to try and rally a last defense, but you got to go.
The throne's falling. You got to go, guys. And Kataro's in. A couple of bashes onto the Monkey King. The sustain, it doesn't even matter. The throne blows up in secret. They'll start off in incredible fashion, taking game 1 in 38 minutes.
Yeah, I think Tempest surprised a few people, though. You know, at the 20 or so minute mark, which is where Secret's lineup really should have been coming online, they were still pretty dead even. You know, they got that first Roshan, they did everything right. It was just that panic point, you know, there was just one too many things happening on the map at the exact same time for them to deal with, or a couple of ultimates that were just a little bit too freely used, and it meant that Secret were able to capitalize on that, use those years of experience, and look to punish them in a big way.
Yeah, I'm going to be saying the praises consistently felt like throughout that game for Zayats, but I think he was a really big reason of why Secret were able to get a lot of farm onto Nisha, importantly, and Chrysalis as well, because remember, his lane wasn't the greatest. We saw Poppy looking to take a lot of the farm in the jungle, but Zayats just felt like he did everything here for Secret to block the smokes, to get some of the initiations, and that's kind of to be expected, though, when you pick this hero early on into such a good such a good Nyx Assassin game, like you were mentioning. He was a vital component to their game one.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we saw how important it was with the Bloodseeker. It was still a great Bloodseeker game, but there were times where he just wasn't able to right-click because it was into the BKBs, it was into the Wukong's command, and that was the real turning point. The just running up into a Wukong, Sabas probably being picked off one too many times as well. You just see the difference here. Like, obviously you've got the outnumber already, but BKB not used to its fullest potential. Pango able to walk on in, start to get a little bit of that burst through onto Nisha, and it allows the Bloodseeker to do the real big things he needs, the heavy lifting.
I didn't even recognize this when the fight was going on, but once Nisha's almost killing Kataru in a 1v1, he wants a high five as well. I mean, this guy, we're seeing the praises kind of heading into this series in particular, that Nisha through a lot of the recent events has really been turning it up a notch. I mean, he saw Malaysia through the qualifiers as well. Of course, he started this DPC season off in probably not the fashion a lot of people were expecting, but him along with Secret have really been getting to another level, and this is no difference of a performance here from, it's an incredible sniper. You caught it as well, Denok. So we'll see if this is going to be something that has to, Tempest have to give a little bit of respect to the sniper, or even if this hero, because it's a very long tournament, how much priority we're going to get out of this hero from other teams.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about it as well, the mid lane carry. It really does feel like that's something that we're going to see a lot more throughout this tournament. I think we're going to see a lot more teams look to emphasize position ones playing as a little bit more of an offlaner. Of course, you're still going to have your natural, like, the mid's the space maker, it's the lane dominator, yada, 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 but Nisha was able to dominate the lane and carry the game, which just shows how good of a player he is.
Yeah, and this is also the versatility coming out from Chrysalis with the Monkey King. Like, this is a hero that you can go for a lot of